let's start carving this guy. And we might want to start with this back side just to I know, because I have all my safety equipment on.
Ah!
Hey.
Ouh, il fait le chapeau de sorcière, papa.
Hey. Love you, baby. I'll see you
Allez,
later.
tu dis goodbye, maman. See you.
I'll see you.
It's funny.
Yeah, something cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. yeah, his laptop. I can't see if there's anything in chat. This laptop is like older than the dinosaurs, and it gives me such trouble. My wife has the big laptop inside, and I'm using the old one, but it's just making some sounds and it's not working. So I'm trying to see chat. Give me a second to get this chat working, hopefully. Hopefully we can go from there. I hate this laptop. Hate it. What's up? need to go. I want to get the screen up. Got this laptop exploding on me. Oh my god, this laptop. It's gonna be the death of me. There we go. One more click. Come on. There we go. Oh shit, sorry Gnome. I don't know if you're still there or not, dude. No, not another one. Not another one. If you're still there and you can hear me right now, man. This is actually going to be the roof for the gnome house that I'm carving out. And the cool part about this one is it's hollow on the inside, except for at the bottom. This one's solid, but everything else is hollow all the way up until this point. And I'm going to drill a hole right through here, so it's going to be like a little birdhouse at the end of the day as well. But this is going to be like a witch's hat for the gnome house. So that's kind of my idea for the roof here. So this was all extra wood from the staircase that I was working on, replacing those treads and things like that. So I'm actually going back there tomorrow to do the drywall, painting, all that kind of stuff. But this was extra material. I decided to carve a witch's hat out of this bad boy. So yeah, I hope you're still there and saw that, man. This laptop I'm dealing with, dude, it's older than the dinosaurs, and it literally just shut down on me 2 seconds ago after I just started it up. So we'll see. But glad you stopped by, man. Maybe you'll see that later on. Yeah. Well, glad to see you. I'll see if it works or not, but I don't trust this laptop one bit. Trying to keep my eye out on chat as well for you guys. So, Reno, I saw you just a second ago, but I caught you too late.
so pretty.
Alright, so I have a gnome house in the backyard that I carved out of a tree stump that was in the ground. And it needs a roof because it's just the stump, and I carved it completely out. And now I'm building this guy, which is going to be the roof, and I want it to look like a witch's hat, so it's going to kind of come up, and then I'll do some detailed carving on it after that. But for right now, I just need to get the basic shape down, the rough cutting and all that kind of stuff to where it looks like a little witch's hat. And then I'm going to drill a hole on this side over here, and the entire inside of this guy is hollow. So on all of these circles that I'm glued together, I cut a circle on the inside, that way it's hollow, and this can be turned into a birdhouse as well. So hopefully we get a bird that goes inside of here and makes its nest on the inside of the roof of the gnome house. So it should be pretty cool at the end of the day, but I am running through batteries like crazy. That's expected. It was the same thing last time when I did this type of job. So just roll with it and roll through the batteries. Good thing I have like 8 batteries, but we're through 4 of them already. So now I'm taking them off my other tools to power this up. But I got a pretty good way. I'd say I'm about 40% carved, like down to this rough shape at this point. And yeah, so we'll see if we can't get through it with these batteries. I think last time I was not able to. I just had to keep switching out batteries. In fact, I should put the 3rd one down. There we go. All right, so let's get back to carving. There's nothing else to it but to do it. So where did I put my safety glasses and gloves? Right over here. Cool. No, it should be cool. Yeah. I do have my laptop set up over here, so if you guys end up saying something in chat, I'm checking it as much as I can right now, but I do have a power tool in my hands with nothing but shark's teeth on it. You know, this thing is a mean, lean, ripping machine. So, but I am watching chat. If people talk, then I guess I'll talk back, you know. That'd be nice, but we'll see. So I'm going to get back to carving this guy and rounding out these other edges and things like that. And yeah, should be a pretty cool witch's hat that goes on top of the gnome house. And like I said, it's all hollow on the inside. So when I cut all these circles out on every single circle going up to this point right here, I cut out a center circle. And if I remember correctly, it was 16 centimeters. I know, guys, it's all metrics over here at this point. I'm getting used to it as well myself. So, but point being, everything is hollow on the inside of this guy going all the way up to this point. And I'm going to end up drilling a hole through this area right here and turning this into a birdhouse that's going to sit on top of my gnome house. So hopefully the gnomes will have themselves a little dragon living at the top of their village there. So it should be pretty cool. But, all right, I'm going to start carving. Enough yapping. Man, those batteries don't last long at all. Alright, we're charging 4 of them. I got a couple more batteries back here. Hopefully we can do this. At this point I'm taking batteries from tools while the others charge. Should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the blower. On the blower. And the saw. No one in chat? Alright. Alright, people. I guess I'll just go silent carbon. Oh my gosh. Check out my nice and hairy leg. Alright, almost with the batteries there. Alright, let's take a little breather while we wait on these batteries to charge up. Oh, I'm sorry guys, camera might be a little dusty. There we go. I'm gonna get this cleaned up just a little bit while we wait. That should be pretty cool. It's a dusty job. Holy crap. Alright, I guess I can get these other things set up while I just wait on batteries to charge up, because that's going to be a while. Well guys, welcome to the shop. So, the other things that I wanted to do today, where do we start? So many projects to do. This will stay outside. Move this madness inside. Alright, so while we wait on batteries to charge so that we can get back to, I don't know why I'm putting it away in a little bit, but while we're waiting on that, let's get some things going here. I think that we want to, yeah, we'll rip down some of that, what is it? Rubber wood. We'll rip some of that guy down because I have some big pieces that I want to make into some other stands and things like that as well. So we can get that guy ripped down. And the other day I found a piece in the trash, some treasure. So we're going to clean that up as well. Let's see if that's better view for you guys. Yeah, looks much better. That's cool. I like that. That's cool. I think that's a pretty good view. Then I can see you guys on chat, things like that. So, buckets. Yeah, right. That's why I'm not in the NBA. All right, so we have some of this bamboo wood, rubber wood, which is just this guy. And I used it on a stair remodeling job. So it's all of these little pieces laminated together. And I've been turning it into other little projects as well with these scrap wood that I have left over and that kind of stuff. So trying to use as much of it as I can before throwing it away, you know. So one of the ideas that I had for this guy was making some picture frames that I already did. They turned out super nice. So I think out of this piece I can make another one of those. And I believe that I have some plastics left over. So let's just go ahead and make one of those picture frames real quick for the yeah, I got plenty of plastic pieces here that I can make 1, 2. Okay, so we'll just do 2 for now. Oh, we could do a couple actually. Yeah. So I've got some of the plastics over here that's left over. These guys I used to make the cabinet doors, just plexiglass. I believe it's 6 millimeters on this guy. Same thing for this. This is just some MDF board that I used for the bottom cabinets that I didn't want to have the plexiglass on. So I have a bunch of like extra pieces like this and stuff like that. And it's nice to just kind of use that scrap in the shop. So we'll go ahead and make some picture frames out of this guy. Oh, hello, Mina. That's my #1 fan, everybody, right there. Christine Mallet. You're my #1 fan. I love it. So she watches everything, comments on everything, and it's cool to have someone like that in my life where it's every single time I know that she's gonna watch, she's gonna comment, those kinds of things. We got the chickens coming in down, so we might be able to see some of them. All right, so like I said, I want to turn this into some smaller picture frames. So we're going to inlay all of this wood, everything like that. What I'm doing right now is we are setting the saw blade to be just above the gullies of the blade. So it's about an 1/8 inch over the top. And then we are going to take our measurements over here. We can transfer it all over. Let's get a clean. I like the smaller pencil on this guy. Yeah, right there. Got some extra ones. I do want to get a marking knife. Be a nice little upgrade. Instead of using my razor knife all the time. So what I end up doing is these pieces where they're all kind of laminated together, I'm going to take those and just turn that into the width of my piece here. So on this guy, for instance, it is measuring in at just about 4.5. It's 4.4 millimeters, and I'm not sure if that's the exact same for all of them. They're coming in at 4, so I should go ahead and cut this guy off because I actually see now there's a little slice right there. So let's go ahead and cut that guy off, then we can get a 4 millimeter piece out of it. So we'll set this guy up, bring it over to the edge. There we go, it's locked down. I'm glad I have this cart now. It makes it easier to talk to you guys, have it in front of me, gives me some extra support on the side. I do want to put a outfeed on it, but that's down the line. There's always just so much to do here and things like that, so it's never ending. But right now we're just waiting on some batteries to charge, and then we can get back to actually carving. So right now we're in the shop, and we're just gonna, instead of wasting time waiting on batteries to charge, we'll start cutting these guys down. Dirty. All All right, everything's set, locked in place. Blade is up. We're good to go. Okay, so like I said, I want to bring this guy over. We're going to do 4 centimeters wide on these pieces. So I'll cut 3 of these guys down. This was the side I just cut, which is going to give me a nice straight surface. At the end of the day, it was already straight, but I'm going to end up running this side over here. Yeah, and that lines up perfectly. That's going to give me my 4-4-4 on this guy, and there's going to be one piece that we can figure something else out to do with it. So I'm going to cut this guy down, and then we'll start building. It's so hard for me to throw away scrap for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, this guy should literally, I mean, here I am, I know I'm gonna keep it. I literally just did a scrap run to the dump the other day because it was just getting to be too much. This whole back side of the shop was just full. I ended up building the top there. I don't know if you can see that on camera. I'll show you guys real quick. But I ended up building the top storage over there to kind of put all of the things that were in this cluttered corner before. And that lumber that's left over there is going to be turned into another cart that's going to house the planer jointer, and another cart that's going to house my freezer that we can use out here just to keep food storage and things like that. So it's nice. Finally, it's cleaned up a little bit more. And yeah, but yeah, I'm still, for some reason, can't throw away scrap. So there we go. All right. All right, cool. So now I have my pieces. So now I have my pieces cut down at the 4 centimeter. Sorry, it's getting very confusing for me switching from standard over to metric. But what we're going to end up doing is keeping the face side for the frame itself, and then we will end up running just back a little bit. I believe it's about 5 centimeters is what I kind of like to, or 5 centimeters, my God, I can't talk today. Yeah, so it's 5 millimeters in this case that I kind of like to run back for where the plexiglass is going to sit. So I want to make sure that no matter what, I've got this guy 5 millimeters back, and then I'm going to end up cutting it down. It's going to be 6 millimeters wide to fit the plexiglass inside of that guy. So we can go ahead, and that's our nice face side. I kind of like this edge the most. That's really cool. Okay, so we can keep that on the front. That'll look nice on the sides. And we'll run our 5 millimeters, which is going to be right here. I can actually show you guys. And we'll just run this line. This line I'm just drawing to show you guys what's going on here. So that's the 5 millimeters, about 6 millimeters over for it. We'll sneak up on this line because we're going to be kind of doing a dado groove in a sense. So that first groove is going to be where the plexiglass sits.
and that's what we're going to cut out here. So super easy. We're going to run it through the blade. My blade is, I think, 2.2 millimeters wide, which means that I'm roughly going to have to pass it about 3 times to clear this guy out and get it ready for the other portion. Now, what I like to do on this as well is, on this back side, we're going to add our back panel at the end of the day, and that guy runs, that's just going to be a sheet of the MDF board, and this guy sits same thing, 6 millimeters wide. Awesome. Makes it super easy to keep track of everything. So we're just going to cut out this back side. I'll measure for you guys, draw it down, and show you what's going on at the end of the day. So 6 millimeters out. So right there. Once again, we're going to sneak up on this cut, but on this side, once this drawing here is just for your reference, everything's going to be straight once I run it through the table saw. So this back side is going to get cut out. And what that allows for in this picture frame is a bunch of space here on the inside. And what I want to do with that is, this is going to be a picture frame kind of where you can take your kids' drawings and things like that. And every time they have a new drawing, you open up the back, you switch it out, and you put the new one up front. But instead of having to take the old picture out and place it somewhere, lose it, or it just clutters up underneath the table like in our house, then you just kind of swap them, so on and so on, until you have this entire area here that's going to be filled with all of your pictures that you have at the end of the day. So we're going to go ahead, and right now I'm not worried about like the length of anything, because all I want to do is cut these dados out. It's going to allow me to make my cuts, my 45s, miters later and stuff like that, to join everything together. So right now we're just going to focus on taking out these dados that are going to allow for the front and back panels to be placed. So what I end up doing here is we can just take this guy. It's nice to have an even number that you're working with at the end of the day, just because it makes it simple on the math. So we're going to run with 10 millimeters here, or 1 centimeter, and we're going to drop the blade height down to that guy for us. So we can, now you guys should probably turn off the saw before you do this, but we like living on edge a little bit, so there we go. So that's set to the 1 centimeter for me. And then we can go ahead and take our piece that we marked, and we're going to run all 3 of these at the same time. So you only need to mark 1 piece at the end of the day. Oh, hey, how's it going, Chris Tyne? So we're making some picture frames that are going to have some space here in the middle for you to stack all of your kids' pictures and things like that, so that you don't have to kind of either buy more picture frames or throw the other ones into a drawer and things like that. So this picture frame allows you to kind of stack all those photos on the inside. So super cool idea, and it's really simple to build at the end of the day as well. So we can go ahead and set our saw over here, and like I said, I'll show you guys a little closer up what's going on. So this will end up being the front face of the picture frame. And then we come in from that point, whatever you would like at the end of the day. But I chose to go over 5 millimeters. And then we're going to cut out that dado right here, which is for our plexiglass to fit inside of. All of this space will remain. And then on this back side is where our back panel is going to end up going as well. So we'll just start that dado out there and get that cut out of here. So, cool. Okay. You start that guy off. I want that right there. Now we're going to run all of our pieces at the same distance here. And no, we're fine. It's a 10 millimeter cut, 1 centimeter. I know if you're in standard, it might be a little confusing, but I'm over here in metrics, and honestly, I'm enjoying working with the metrics for the woodworking. It just makes so much more sense instead of saying 1.5 inches or 1.75 inches and stuff like that. It's 18 millimeters or 19 millimeters. Pretty simple. I get it. It's different, but I'm enjoying it. So Watch your ears. We're gonna turn this on. We're gonna run a couple of these through and get that first dado cut. Alright, first cut's done. All I'm going to do at this point is adjust the fence over. And we're going to run our second one. And we'll do the same thing on all three again. Okay, so I just have to come over just a tiny, tiny bit to get that last fine cut. I mean, that's going to be it right there. I mean, I'm going about a half a saw blade. I'll run this first one, check it on the plexiglass, if it fits nice and snug, then we run all three of them through. Just a little bit more then. I'd like it a little bit tighter. So we're going to back that off just a hair. Okay, then we can run these other two through. So you can see that on the plexiglass we have a really nice fit. Slides nicely, sounds great. Once I take this plastic off, it'll be clear, see-through, everything like that. But for now, just keep it on there, keep it protected, because we'll end up cutting it on the saw afterwards. So we're going to do the same thing now for the back panel over here. So that's going to be our front side, with the glass sitting on the inside here. In fact, I have like a little piece I can show you guys with. So this will be our front side. The plexiglass is going to slide right into there. And then on this back side, we will cut our next groove, and that's what our back panel for this picture frame is going to go into. So, super easy. Just go cool. Alright, back side engaged. We mark it just to make sure that we are in the right place. Batteries are charging, and then we can get back to carving. So that's really what we're here for, is the carving. Okay. Okay. Actually, it's going to be better if we work this side. It gets us further away from the blade. Okay, so I want to make sure that takes us away from the blade, which is nice, kind of what we want here. Pull it down to the tooth, and we are going to cut that guy right there. Watch your ears. Okay, let's cut this end off. We'll take a little chisel, just clean up any of those little guys that are still sticking around. Or you could run it back through the table saw as well to do the same job right here, but chisel does just fine on just cleaning out these guys. Missed this one on one pass. Bring it back to the saw. It's gonna be quicker. One battery charged. 8 to go, and we can get back to carving. Because that's really what I wanted to do today, was the carving. That's okay, as long as I'm doing something. I feel fine. Okay, so we got those grooves cut out. Get a little cleaned up, grab the air, spritz it off. And then we've got our 3 little sides here. So the back is grooved out, which is going to allow for our back panel to sit flush. Oh yeah, that's perfect. It's nice and flush, so that's great. And then we have our front panel cut out as well. And that's going to be where our plexiglass sits at the end of the day. So then we can cut everything out and make ourselves a little picture frame. I think they'll do good at the marketplace. So we'll get those down, and then we're going to make sure that we sand everything before we really get into it. So like putting it together, that is, and stuff like that, and doing the oil, all that kind of stuff. So, but like I said, I really want to get back to carving. Once a couple of these batteries charge up, because carving through that thing just eats up batteries like crazy. I mean, we used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big batteries and 1 small battery on carving out that the Gnome house rooftop. That's also going to be a birdhouse. So I'm making it into a witch's hat. Here, I'll show you guys real quick if you'd like to see it. Blow it off a little bit. So here it is. When we're carving this out, it's going to be a witch's hat at the end of the day. And then it is hollow on the inside, so I'm going to drill a hole through on this side over here. And it's going to be a birdhouse as well. So it should be pretty cool. But it does eat up a lot of battery to carve this guy out. And we still have a lot of carving left to do to really get it into a witch's hat. So that's really what I want to be doing today. Let me turn off that air compressor. It's probably annoying. I guess it's not that bad, but I think it's annoying. Get this. Ta-da! Cool. So yeah, so I'm just waiting on those batteries, and then we can get back to carving this guy. And that's the the fun part, the project that I really want to be working on right now. But until then, back to these guys. So we've got 3 of them cut down. I am gonna make some smaller picture frames on this one. Maybe I should look up like a standard photo size real quick. And you guys have my phone, so I can't look up a standard photo size right now. Oh, I guess I do have this cruddy I'm so scared. This laptop is older than the dinosaurs, man. I'm telling you. Like it took me an hour at least just to get this thing started up onto YouTube, onto the stream, so that I could see chat and everything like that. And I am nervous to open up another browser on this guy because it's going to give me a hard time. If I open up another browser, dude, this thing might just explode on us right here. So, yeah, we're just going to make one that we think works, and then my daughter can cut out, we'll cut the pictures to size if need be. I mean, that looks pretty nice to me anyways right there, so I think that's a good size. Different width, obviously, but especially for this one. 24 sounds pretty standard. Does anyone know the standard size of a picture here in centimeters and metrics? Is that something someone knows or can Google on their phone? Because like I said, if I look up anything on this laptop, it's gonna poop out on me. So that's not an option. Where did my pencil go? Did I blow it off? I think I did. Let me know, chat. Let me know the standard size of like a photo or something like that, so we can make the back panel and cut the plexiglass and stuff like that in millimeters or centimeters, whatever it comes out to be. That's the annoying part. Oh, cool. I like that. Pencil, where'd you go? How did I do with it? Oh, put it back where it was. Alright. No one's helping? Just kidding, guys. You're helpful. Gotta make sure that's square. It's good. Looks good to me, man. It looks like a nice size for my daughter to draw with and stuff like that, so I think that'll do the trick. And with 24, I believe I can get the 2 out of these guys, because it does need to be a little longer for those 45s. I might not be able to get that out of there. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and do another one. $24. So we can just move this to the side. Oh, that's the extension cord. I thought that was the air blower. Move this to the side. Move our gnome house that we're going to get back to carving once these batteries charge up. Well, it's not the gnome house, it's the gnome house roof, and it's a witch hat, which is also going to be a birdhouse. So first thing I'm going to do is just set this guy though over here to the 45-degree cut. So you guys in chat. And then we can go ahead and cut this first one. Now we're just going to do what's going to work for us here. So this total guy is 50. So we should be able to get away with doing the 24 as our top, at least. So I should actually be marking this side. We're going to flip it over to cut the same angle on the other side. instead of having to switch the saw around, we can just have it flipped over and we'll be able to cut that angle. Okay, so that's going to give us our 24. I'm going to put a stop block in place. It's going to make this a lot quicker. Well, I guess I don't need to really. It's only for 2 pieces, but I guess it'll do. One block saves the day. That way, I can just do this a little bit quicker for us. Alright, so we changed the size on it, which obviously none of you care about, and it doesn't matter to you, but we're going to make a little square one instead of a rectangular one. And that's just because this is just for me at the end of the day. So I think I'm going to have it, we can have this picture framed. See if there's some wood that matches up with all of these. That one looks great. Oh, that's a cool color. Okay. And this one will look better there. Okay. And this one will look good there. Alright, so see what's going on with chat. Nothing much. That's alright. No, so I'm making a picture frame at this point while we wait on those batteries to charge up, since we are killing the batteries with that. So we've got ourselves a little picture frame going on right now. Obviously it's not sanded down yet or glued up, but we're going to do that. So we have went ahead and cut our dado groove right here in the front side, so that's where the plexiglass will sit. On the back side is going to be where the MDF board sits, and that way we can pop that off and leave all of this space here on the inside so that we can store multiple photos at one time, because this is going to be for like my daughter's drawings and things like that. So when she makes those drawings, we can just continue to put the new one in front and then put all of the old ones in the back. That way it's kind of like a photo holder as well as a display for them. So I think that's a good look, but we have some sanding to do on it. And just to kind of clean all of this guy up, I'll start with the hand sanding. That way we can talk to some people if they want to talk. And yeah, then I'll jump over to the orbital real quick and do that. And let's tear sandpaper for that. That's 320, way too high. 120, that sounds a little better. That sounds realistic for a photo frame. Don't want to just jump to 320. We'll be sanding all day long. So I just really want to get the insides done by hands, and the rest can be done with the orbital. And the inside can be done as well, but. Just got to keep checking those batteries. Like I said, I want those to be charged so I can get back to carving. So super easy to just take a piece of sandpaper, fold it in half, and you can get inside of those dado grooves. Get them a little cleaned up. Now this is a great project too that you can like kind of bulk out, because what I'll do at the end of the day is I'll take some of this rubber wood or whatever wood that I'm using and turning into a picture frame. And I'll take roughly around a 4-foot piece, somewhere in that dimension, and make all of my cuts. And then later on, come over to the miter saw and start to do my 45s at the size of pieces that I need or desire at the end of the day. But it's super quick. I mean, you can bulk out a few of these really simply in just a matter of an hour, I'd say, at the end of the day. The most time consuming is if you're doing what I'm doing, which is like sanding everything down nicely and those kinds of things. But getting the actual picture frames together, that goes super quick. But I like to make sure everything's sanded. I don't think anything that I ever work on doesn't get sanded of some sort, so. Okay, 1, 2, 3, sanded. Any batteries charged? Nope, still working on that. Okay. So it's easier to just do the inside sanding beforehand, and then we can do the outside sanding afterwards. Now, something that we do need to do on this guy, before we can glue it up, so I am satisfied with the inside sandings on that guy. And then we'll, like I said, do the other more hardcore sanding with the random orbital. So I might just do just a touch on the inside here, and that'll be good. We've got some 80 grit. We don't need an 80 grit on this guy because it's already finished wood. So we'll just go over, maybe grab a 150 or 120 if we, whatever we find kind of first. There we go. 180 it is. That'll do the trick. Watch your ears. So now what we can do is just take the measurements on the inside of this guy, and that's going to give us from end to end. So we're looking at 18, so this picture frame is going to be 18 or close to that, 18, but this one is actually going to be 16 by 16 for the picture size itself. But the glass that I need to cut is going to be just under 18, just so that we have enough wiggle room for everything. 18 by 18 is going to be our glass piece on this, and the back side will be 18 by 18 on the dot. So, but the glass one's going to go in first, and that's the only one that we need right now. So we'll set our saw over to just under 18, just to give us, like I said, a little bit of wiggle room there. I am going to check up top real quick, make sure that I don't have a smaller piece that fits this criteria before I go cutting into my one large piece. All tiny, 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 tiny. Okay, cool. So that is the piece that we're going to use for this. Okay, so cap back on here. Cool. Alright, so I got the saw set to 18. Got it at an acceptable height to run through this plexiglass. Cutting it on the table saw is super easy. It works really, really well as well. So we'll just run this guy down into 18. And just leave the bigger piece and we'll be good to go. Could be all ears. plastics. Okay, so as we can see, that's going to fit in there nicely. On all of these. Okay. Cool. So we should be able to get some wood glue on these guys and get that guy glued up nice and square using some clamps. I think I need to take just a tiny bit off this guy just to be safe. It's going to be a lot better to have this guy a little bit smaller. Alright, cool. We can use our small clamps for this guy. Don't need anything crazy. Just drop this table saw blade down and we can use this. That's cool. I just put this bench together quickly the other day and it's treating me nice so far. So, use this kind of for a glue up tray. That'll be good. And we'll get some wood glue out. We can do a little bit of Daba CA glue as well, just to help with making this go a little quicker. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. That guy was spiting. Okay, there was a way that I liked how it looked. That's it. So it'll be these guys together on this side. And maybe this one. Yeah, that's it. That blends really, really well. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. And boom. Awesome. So we'll get our wood glue in. We'll just start on this back one. Once we get 3 of them in, then we can add our plexiglass in. And hopefully by then we have, they're all still charging. Have a couple more. Really want to get back to the carving. That's what I was doing today and what I wanted to get done today. But batteries go quick when you're carving. Okay. So I'm going to let this glue kind of do its thing, soak in a little bit since this is end grain. And then we'll come back and glue it all together. Trying to use the last of this glue before I switch bottles, of course. What's up, everybody? What are you guys doing on this Sunday, huh? What are you guys up to? I guess nothing. Now this end grain, especially on this wood, it's a rubber wood, and it's super porous. So it's good to glue it and then come back and add some more glue afterwards. That way it soaks it all into the wood and then you have a fresh glue point after that. I hope chat's working and I'm not just like missing it or something. So this picture frame, like I said, it's going to be for me, for my mom, one of those two. But I want my daughter to make some paintings. That way it's kind of filled up and we can rotate through photos on it, which is going to be cool. Right now I'm doing the double glue kind of method. So since it's end grain and it's rubber wood and super soaking it up, I'm going to glue it, give it just a couple minutes, and then we can add our second layer of glue and push everything together, clamp it down. I don't think I'm going to do the CA glue method. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I have a lot of trouble with the CA glue. If I'm adding wood glue, it won't bond as well because it seems to mix with the wood glue. I'll leave an empty space to where it's just CA glue, but when I put pressure on it, it mixes and it doesn't hold that well for me for the time being. So I kind of switched back to just doing the wood glue, clamping it up, letting it sit for 30 minutes, and going from there. I mean, my God, this guy already soaked up all the glue. That's crazy. So, like I said, doing this first coat. And if you guys watch the Workshop Companion, love that guy. He's awesome. And he does some tests on it too, about gluing up end grain first and then letting it sit and coming back in 10 to 15 minutes or so. I don't know if I'm going to wait that long, but adding more glue on top and clamping everything together at that point. And it helps out tremendously with the wood glue. Oh, I will use that CA glue, however, for a little bit on the plexiglass just to hold it in place. So now we just kind of wait for this guy, and we can get set up a little bit to where I know everything's kind of set to the dimensions that I need. It'll make it easier at the end. Okay, so that's good. Now we can just, that way everything goes smoothly, because if you guys do glue ups and stuff like that, you know that sometimes it can get stressful. Not on this guy, because this is just a tiny picture frame, so it's one, it's nothing to be stressed about. Two, it's a very small glue up. But when you're doing larger glue ups and stuff like that, like on some of the tables that we build and things like that, I like to get my clamps set up to the size that I'm going to need them for, because it just makes it that much easier once you go to do the glue up and put everything together. The clamps are ready to go. Those kinds of things seems to help me, but you guys do you. I'm going to continue to do me. Oh, hey, Arctic. Sanding and finishing a few things for my wife, checking in on your live every now and then. I don't want to miss the end, but get distracted easily. Yeah, me too, as you can tell. My wife was like, I was talking to her about it. I was like, I just cleaned up the garage the other day. Like it wasn't a mess, but I just had so much scrap wood and like so much scrap wood. And it was all just like some 2x4 left over and things like that I really don't want to build things out of too much. And it just distracts me. So I had like 4 or 5 projects. I still have like 4 or 5 projects going on right now. So I'm carving the roof for the gnome house, and which I have not finished the gnome house. So I have to do the gnome house carving, a little bit more on that. Finish the roof for that. I'm waiting for the batteries to do it. So of course I decided to start another project, which is, I don't know what I'm thinking. I have the oak, I'll show you that real quick. The oak from the fireplace. So up top right there, is the oak, and I milled it down with the planer to get it all kind of a little bit nicer now. I mean, it was a journey just to get it to that point because it was the old fireplace mantle. That's going to be turned into a dining table. Right next to it, I have the slabs of walnut, also going to be turned into tables as well. And then I have this guy that I just dug out of the trash yesterday. Didn't dig it out, but I was at the dump taking all that scrap. I felt so bad about taking that scrap and throwing that scrap out. And someone had this right there, and I was like, yeah, I'm taking that because as you can see, it's not in bad condition. I mean, everything's functioning on it and stuff like that. We just need to sand it down, kind of refinish it, but I decided to take it anyways. Then other projects, I still have these guys as well. So this was the first charcuterie board that we made in here. And then I have two more underneath here that are all glued up, and those need to be obviously finished up so I can get them ready. These guys also need to be finished up. So these are all the wine caddies, but I just need to do a final sanding on them and get some oil on them and things like that. Those need to be finished up. I don't even know what this guy is. I was just in here one night working and decided to take kind of scrap pieces that I had from cedar and glue them together. I was thinking kind of like a lantern situation, something like that. Then all of these guys I bought for another table. So I just made this table right here for the table saw. And so yeah, I have way too many projects going on at once, but I think a lot of people do the same thing as me, where it's like you start one thing and then you just get distracted and you move into another project, and it's a terrible habit. And it's like, can you not just do one thing and get it done? Oh yeah, and then the staircase. I don't know if you've seen those shorts that I've been posting. I'm working on a staircase right now in this really old French house. That's actually what this wood is from. This is the scrap wood from those stair treads that I was replacing. And I'm going back there tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday to finish up the drywall, the painting, all that kind of stuff on that project. So that is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different projects that are all about 80 to 90% done. And then I just move on to another. I don't know why I can't just finish a project in this world, you know? I mean, I always finish them, but just not right away. So it is what it is. But yeah, sanding and finishing a few things. That's where we're at as well. I'm just trying to watch these batteries and get them charged so that I can go back out there and get back to the carving. But I just run through those batteries, man, on the carver. Where did I put that other battery? I just had 2 charged. I know that for a fact. Oh, it's probably behind the laptop. Yep, exactly. Yeah, getting projects, not getting distracted is a tough thing to do. So, all right, well, we went ahead and, since this is the end grain, it's already soaked it up quite a bit. We're going to add some more glue, and we're going to get this thing glued together now. I'm happy with that. So on the end grain, it's always good to kind of glue it up, give it some time to soak that in to the pores, and then you can come back and add a little bit more glue and begin to clamp it up. So that's really going to help with the making sure that everything doesn't get soaked up in between the 2 pieces, and that you actually have a consistent glue line. So let's leave that down. We're running out of glue there. I have a whole nother bottle, but obviously I want to use this entire bottle. Okay, there's that side. Anyone else a finger spreader? I just don't see the point in buying a roller. I use them for the larger projects, but like for this, I'm not going to bring out a spreader or something. I don't know. I just use my finger. Gives me beautiful results every single time. It's just so convenient. I don't know. Prove me wrong. Is it worse to spread by finger? I think I saw a video where it makes no difference if you spread by finger. Yeah. 3 or 4 things. Sounds like you're doing better than me because yeah, I have way too much going on. It's I don't know what it is like inside of the brain that causes that. I don't want to say it's ADHD and shit like that. Like no, I mean, it might be, but I wonder what it is that causes us to kind of jump onto another project instead of just getting one done and feeling good about that. It's kind of funny, but. All right, cool. So I got that glue on there. Now we can go ahead and put these panels together. I'm gonna add just a dab of this CA glue and try and get it. I don't want it on the sides anywhere on this project. I just want it down. It's kind of nice clean hole to do that actually. Perfect. So I just want to put one just down right in the middle. That way I can help with keeping this plexiglass nice and centered. This part's totally not necessary as well. You can really just put this guy right in the middle, but it'll help if there was to be like any kind of rattling noise and things like that. I think it tends to help on that, so. Just put one little drop into these pieces here. Okay. So I don't want any showing up on the glass itself on the outside. Whoa! That could have been bad. Oh wait, no, that was right. Shit. I thought it was backwards for a second. I was like, oh god. What are we doing? All right, cool. So I got these guys. So that's going to be our back side. Let's just go ahead and put this down. Yep, that'll do. Easy enough. So I'm going to put these clamps into place. And just kind of mess around with these guys. Could have done the CA glue as well, but I just don't mind doing wood, just wood glue. All right. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think it could be ADHD. Yeah. Work trip, no fun. So, what's up? First of all, hey, how you doing right now? Good to talk to you. I'm waiting on the batteries to really just charge up. I've been switching them out, periodically checking, because I really just want to get back to carving. Here, I'll show you as well. I think that's when you joined in earlier. I was carving this guy out. So this is going to be for the I always forget how you say it. Delans. We're going to say Delans. Delaney. And so yeah, we're carving this guy out, which is going to be the roof to the gnome house that I've been carving out. But it's got a fun little secret inside. So it's actually hollow on the inside. This bottom piece is solid, and then everything from here up is solid as well. But everything in this section right here, I cut the inner circle out to where I'm gonna actually drill a hole through this side right over here, and it's gonna be a little birdhouse for the gnomes. So in my mind, the gnomes will have a little bird to fly around their villages and things like that. I don't know. Nerdy? I know. Yes. Cool? Probably also yes. So, working on this, just wanted to get some batteries charged up, and during that time, didn't want to waste time. So, I moved on to taking the rubber wood. So, I don't know if you actually just saw Bearded Viking's last video, but this is kind of, I don't think he's using rubber wood. I'm pretty sure his was pine. But the board structure and things like that is all the same. This is all the laminated together sheets or put together. You know, they're little like 4x4 kind of sections that are all glued together. And he talked about how straight they are and things like that. But I have a bunch of it left over from those stair treads that I've been working on replacing. And I don't want to just throw it away. So I started to make some kind of picture frames and things like that out of it. So these are the picture frames, and the way that this one works is it's got a lot of extra space on the inside, and I actually need to adjust that corner real quick. So I'm glad you came by so I could show you. We'll flip this back upside down. But it's got a lot of extra space on the inside, so that you can fill it up like with your kids' paintings and things like that. So instead of only having a picture frame for one photo at a time, this one's going to allow you to just kind of put the old ones behind the new one and continue that process. And my guess is you'd be able to hold, like, I don't know, 15, 20 photos in here without a problem. So I think it's just kind of a cool little way to increase that and make a fun, unique photo frame. All right, so that's back down. I should have done the CA, but the CA gives me some trouble sometimes, man. Yeah, man, you still have, I don't know what date it is today. I think it's like it's the 19th. It's my wife's and I's 4-year anniversary. So today's the 19th. If you think you can whip out a gnome house, I think you have until the 1st to do that. So I'm sure you can, man. Like it's just about having fun and trying to be creative anyways. I don't think there's no prize, there's no entry fee, things like that. It's just for shits and gigs, and it's been fun so far. I've been enjoying the process behind it. And I don't know if you saw, but I carved out the tree. My daughter's been loving it, man, because I carved out the entire center of that tree, and I made like a couple of little tables and chairs and things like that. I'm gonna put a deck on the front of it. It's pretty cool. And she plays with her little cat figurines on the inside and has little food parties for them and stuff like that. Oh, what's up? Hey, Delan, how's it going, man? How's it going? I'll show you. I don't know if you were here when I just showed, but here is the roof for the gnome house that I've been carving. So, and I was just telling everyone else as well, it's hollow on the inside. So every single piece from here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here is hollowed out on the inside. I believe it's about 20 centimeters or something. And I'm gonna make this into a witch's hat. And then on this side right here, I'm gonna drill a little hole, and it's gonna be kind of a birdhouse at the end of the day for the gnomes, so that they have their little dragon to fly away on. So that's the idea in my head. But should be pretty cool, man. Should be pretty cool. I've just been waiting on some batteries to charge back up, and then I can jump back into the carving game. So during that time, I figured I might as well make one more of these little picture frames that I did the other day. So I just need to get a cloth that I've been looking all over for. I think it's actually over behind you guys. And then I can, get some of this extra glue out of the way. But yeah, glad to see you here, man. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm super stoked about it. I haven't had time to really get back there and working on the gnome house as much, because I've been doing a staircase remodel, and that's actually what this wood is from. It's a rubber wood, kind of like laminated together pieces and things like that.